an amazing group of panelists on board here. My name is Keiko Beatty, and I am in the industry, but I'm not part of so much of the spa manufacturing formulating industry, but I definitely know how to get a good massage. Anyway, right now, as we know, the beauty industry has merged with CBD because we're finding so much benefit of being able to care for our bodies with the infusion of CBD. And now that spas are looking forward to it, and actually Ella here shared with me that you can, at this hotel, get a manicure with CBD. Ella, tell us what the price is.
It's $25.
Anyway.
Add-on.
Extra.
Yeah,
Extra.
Right. But see, this is a major hotel chain, Hilton. You can get a CBD manicure here. And who would have thought that 5 years ago? So we are at a fortunate time to be able to be at the surge of this industry. So right now, I'd like to be able to have our panelists introduce themselves to you and share a little bit who they are and what they do in the industry. And I'm going to start with our wonderful guest here who works very well with women, obviously. And this is Derek. Derek, please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do in the industry.
Hi there, my name is Derek Hodges. I'm the president of Essential Depot. We're based in Sebring, Florida, which is great because it's only an hour and a half from here, so you may have seen some of my employees dancing last night. We like to have fun. Our company motto is make each other proud and make the customer proud. Started the business 10 years ago when my sister did a blog for me on sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is the ingredient used in every making a bar of soap. You need sodium hydroxide. So we started 10 years ago and have grown over the years to quite a good-sized business. Our goal is to supply the 300,000 micro business. This is my main customer base, 300,000 micro businesses, mainly small, women-owned mainly, 2 to 5 employees, and there are 300,000 of those handmade soap and cosmetics businesses. The executive director of the Soap Guild is here, but those businesses, if you think about it, each one of them does about $100,000. That's a $30 billion business, and over 10 years, we've sold essential oils, shea butter, all the ingredients to make soaps and cosmetics. CBD's just come along, looks like it's going to double our revenue. And I said we've sold to over 110,000 of those ladies-owned businesses, and we love the industry. So thanks for having me here, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Derek. And we are very fortunate. We have actually 2 experts here, and their names are Ella. So I don't want to say Ella 1 and Ella 2, but beautiful Ella.
I'll be Ella 2.
Gorgeous Ella. No, so beautiful Ella is right here in our center. So Ella, please share with us a little bit about who you are and what you do in the industry.
We were laughing because people with our name are either 8 and under or 80 and over. And so it's like 2 stars aligned, and we found ourselves at the CBD Expo.
All Disney princesses at heart.
My name is Ella Cressman, and I am a licensed esthetician, and I am a certified organic formulator. I've been a licensed esthetician for 15 plus years, and I've been an educator in the professional spa industry for about 13 of those. I've been a product rep. My background, I have a business degree, and I say my life is a series of whoopsie daisies, which I'll tell you guys later afterwards. But I whoopsie daisy found myself in my passion of the aesthetics industry. And in 2014, which I often say is the dawning of time in this space, in the CBD space, I found myself, as many of us do, self-studying the benefits of CBD and trying to understand the application, therefore, in the spa. So I worked to develop, at the time, with the products available, protocols for the spa, and the products that were available were pain creams. And so how do you turn a pain cream into a facial? And so I did that. I worked with companies. So now I have my consulting firm. I still have my thriving practice in Denver that we still see clients. It's a corrective skincare studio, and there's every aspect of every service has some form of CBD in it, or cannabis, they should say. And now I am also the owner and founder of HHP Collective, which is a consulting firm and I'm a bridge. I'm a hustler and a bridge, I guess. And so I help bridge the gap between companies that are in the spa industry that want to add a CBD component, or CBD companies who want to enter into the spa industry. It was the original intention, but now I help several different companies. So.
Thank you so much, Ella. And now I have Ella Gorgeous on the end there. Ella, please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in the industry.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ella Duke, and I am one of the managing partners at Co-Packing USA. Co-Packing USA is an exclusive co-packer for the CBD hemp industry. We got into co-packing because we actually started as a CBD brand, and we grew very fast and found ourselves in need of a co-packer. And what we found is that no one was willing to work with small business owners, companies that were starting off with maybe just 1,000 or 2,000 bottles. And so we saw that there was an amazing opportunity to be of service to all of these small business owners. And today we work with over 150 brands. We will still work with the small startups, and still work with really huge companies that you have probably seen on the market. So very excited to share with you all today and answer any questions that you might have about co-packing.
Thank you, Ella. You know, I just want to know, in curiosity, how many here actually have a brand that you're working with in the CBD industry at this right now? Okay, thank you. And how many people here are looking to get into the industry and find out a little bit more about CBD spa and integrating yourself into the industry? All right, we're at the right place at the right time, because you who are already entered into the industry, I'm sure you found a lot of hurdles to go over, as well as learning as you go, because there's been no real textbook on how to get into this. And for you who are on the precipice of creating a company, you're definitely in the right room at this time. What I'd like to know, panelists, is that how would you suggest that somebody actually start out in getting into the industry and being able to create a brand for our ones who are looking to create something? Ella, you know, Ella Gorgeous or Ella Beautiful?
I would say the first thing is that you have to define your intention, because there is a saturation of products on the market now, which is way different than last year even. The products that were available last year are completely different than what's available now. So start out with an intention. And so when you have a product intention, then you're able to, instead of sending a buckshot out, you're able to send like a bullet out to whoever you want to be with. One question I asked a client, I said, who uses your product? He said, well, everybody. And I said, stop. That's great, but probably not. So close your eyes and imagine who is putting on your product. It was a sunscreen. And so he said, and he was able to describe it, and that leads your ingredient selection. That leads where you're going to place that product. That leads your website design, your product design, so many different things. So starting with the product intention is key, your philosophy.
I want to echo everything you just said. Obviously, finding a quality source for product is number one. Going out and meeting the people that are making your product, going out and asking them all of the questions that you have about how they process the product, where it is that they're getting it from. And then really drill down and think about who it is that you're trying to appeal to. Start designing your logo, start thinking about what your brand is going to look like, and go from there. Believe it or not, at least once a week, I get a call from a customer that says, I've heard great things about you, my product is on its way to the facility, and I've never had a conversation with them. And then I find out that they don't even have a logo designed yet. And then they go from being really, really excited about their product coming to market to figuring out that it's going to take them anywhere between 3 to 4 months to get there, while they design logos and labels and figure out what they want to put their product in.
Yeah, packaging.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the intention of what you're going to be create is very important. I always say, know your mission statement and stay true to it. So really think in your mind, what is the core belief of your existence within this industry, making it meaningful? Some people, of course, in the spa industry definitely focus on health and wellness and or beauty, but find out what really resonates with you. Derek, in regards to Essential Depot then, where does a beginner come into play in working with you?
We work with a lot of beginners. A year and a half ago, I didn't know what CBD was. One of my customers in Alabama volunteered to make 1,000 pots of CBD balm, came down to Atlanta. We had the 3-day handmade soap and cosmetics guild show, which is every May. And at the end of the show, I asked my guys, about 12 guys on the booth, who would work for tips to give the ladies, mainly ladies, massages.
Were they cute?
They were lined up. There was a Harry Met Sally moment on one of the massages, needless to say. But I knew then that CBD was going to be big.
Good for something.
Now, you're going to start a business. I echo absolutely what these two ladies said. But what you also need to do is figure out how much do I want to put into it? How much do I want to invest? What laws do I have to follow? Can I make balms and lotions in Florida, which you cannot unless you have a commercial facility? So what we do is really have the Greener Life Club, which is a mechanism by which you can, if you come to the booth, I'll explain it more, but you really have to have expert advice. And we have 3 doctors that answer questions on business, the medical side of CBD, and the upcoming derivative products. And I just would advise you, get your dream, figure out where you want to be in 5 years, map the path, be very careful that you put the right preservatives if you're going to use preservatives, because you can mess people up with the wrong products. We have all the answers to those questions, because with 110,000 customers, I can direct you to some that have gone from working in their kitchen to having warehouses in Clearwater selling close to $1 million worth of soap. So we've got all the answers. I'm sorry if that sounds, but we do. It's been a long 10 years. We've learned a lot. I just want to caution everybody, get your dream, but make sure you, along the way, don't risk yourself or your customers, and get the right kind of product insurance. And when you buy our products, we have product liability insurance, and we private label, we supply that to you. I don't want to take too much time. I could spend an hour talking about this.
I just want to add on to that too, if I can. Another thing that you have to think about is this is a lot of work. And so with other products, you think you're going to create a product and that's it. But there's so many more facets to this than there are this, meaning the cannabis hemp side of things, than there are just with a normal product. You have to be ready to educate. You have to be ready to navigate the obstacles that are unique to this industry, like credit card processing, for example, Facebook ads, for example. So it's a different business plan. You have to be ready for it. It's a lot of work. You have to be prepared to be the educator and to be the expert. And if you're not, you have to know who to collectively bring in for that. You have to have visual education, as well as you have to train other people how to sell your product. It's a lot. So be prepared for that. Roll up your sleeves and get going.
You're being responsible for every person who's purchasing your product. You want to make sure that you look towards the safety and the efficacy, as well as the titration that each person may be utilizing with it. So you have a lot of responsibility in that product, because as we know, at this time, the CBD industry is not regulated. I think they say here within 6 months, there could be a lot more information of the federal government approving it, where they will have those regulations set. But at this time, it's still Wild West at the OK Corral. And if you're going to be moving forward, I feel you do need to be responsible for those safety efforts. And so when you're developing a formulation, which Ella, I think that you've had more experience in the basis of formulation, how do you start out? Of course, they have to focus in on what they want to develop, but what do you feel are some of the R&D tips to developing a product then?
Back to product intention, so what I've done with companies has been able to help really exponential growth in the marketplace. And so some of them are in JW Marriott's and some of them are in the Red Door. But on the education side, or the product intention side, we've had, in educating those large chain opportunities, we've had people say, oh, I used this sublingual tincture on my skin and my dark spot really went away. I'm like, no, it didn't. It just is a placebo effect, because there's no freaking way. But okay, so when you're looking at that, you have to understand that CBD, if you're using isolate, or full spectrum hemp extract, if you're using a full or broad spectrum, is one ingredient. in a total, it's like chocolate cake, it would be the chocolate, but then you need the flour, you need the egg, you need the baking soda, and so on. And so if the product intention is a lightening serum, then you're, obviously CBD has a melanogenesis property, but you're adding other botanicals in there, other ingredients that help lightening up the skincare. So keeping that in mind in formulations, that it's the total that could be the entourage effect, not, the entourage of efficacy, not just the entourage of the hemp extract. And so cleansers and different products, creams, what's the intention of the product? And then that's where the formulation begins. You pair the intention of the product with the intention of the company, and then you know if you're going botanical and so on.
Thank you so much. So would you say that starting out that they would need to have a formulator come in and assist with making that product? I mean, that takes a lot of responsibility as well. Ella, gorgeous. Can you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely seek out someone like Ella to help assist and bridge the gap between what your intention is and the finished product. Please don't do it in your kitchen.
And that's what we've seen a lot of, because this is a passion industry. We've seen a lot of people who are self-studied and they think, oh, I'm going to try this because no one else has done this, so I have no resource to go to. And some of them have developed really cool stuff. But with that, you need to be able to scale up, because you can make it in, whether it's
Small batches.
Small batch or a
Small
kitchen.
batches are easy.
Yeah, and if you, like in Colorado, we have kitchens that people rent for cannabis edibles and so on. So they'll rent kitchens and make their serum, but what's the scale plan? What's the plan to make it bigger? So it can be done, it's just something you have to consider, because especially now with the regulations, there was something that just came out December 31st. That is a 12-month plan. They'll probably have something in 11 months from now, but with the regulations, those bathtub balms are going to be no longer. Those homemade bath bombs are not going to be an option for much longer either.
I knew a gentleman who actually had a booth at a vendor booth at another show, not a CBD Expo show, and he openly said he went to companies that sold a base for lotion, and then you went and bought a tincture from somebody else and put the CBD drops in the lotion, shook it up, put his own label in there, and that's what he sold for CBD lotion. So I know none of you will do that here, because you look like a really intelligent group. Anyway, for Derek, when people do go through, develop their product, and then they can actually go to you for some of their bases then, correct?
They can come to us for almost every base you need. We are adding some we found at the show. Over the years, we make a great, we fly to India, spend 6 weeks in India, checking out, making sure we're getting pure essential oils. You buy an essential oil, I can tell you right now, half the stuff on the market is adulterated and not pure. So be careful where you source your products. We helped Hampton Sydney College on the booth, but after this event, I've got 3 doctors, the doctors I mentioned on the booth, the professor of chemistry is from Hampton Sydney College. Every batch that comes in of our essential oils, and now the CBD, he tests on the gas chromatograph. If you have any, and you've really got to do that to make sure you've not got adulterated products. The other thing you have to do is have batch control, good manufacturing practice, expiration dates on your product. Every product won't last forever. If you use fractionated coconut, you get a longer shelf life than if you use regular coconut oil. So there's 100 different things you have to watch out for, but the business is enormous. Start with the idea, source the ingredients from a reputable company like Essential Depot, and make sure you're getting what you pay for.
Thank you, Derek. And now, so we have somebody here who's actually gone through, done the research, found the efficacy and the products to add into it, to heighten it to what their passion is. And then what would they do once they got everything together and they, like with co-packing, Ella, gorgeous, I mean, what would they need to do in order to work with you on those steps?
So once you had your product ready and you could ship it to our location in bulk, we at Co-Packing USA do not formulate, we do not manufacture, we do not make product of any kind. So you have to send us finished product and all we do is fill it. We have an in-house design team. So let's say you're working with a designer, you can come in, talk to myself or someone else on the sales team about the type of vessel that you're going to use. A quality co-packer is going to be able to give you options outside of the standard amber and cobalt blue bottles that you see everywhere in the market. So if you're looking to set yourself apart, it is really important to know that there is no such thing as fast and cheap. So that amber bottle with the white dropper might cost you 25 cents. But when you start looking at things that are going to look a little bit more upscale, know that you're going to be looking at increased lead times, and you're definitely going to be increasing your cost of goods. So I would say that the first step after you have your product is to figure out what your bottom line on that product needs to be. How much is it that you need to make in order to continue the business after your first order? And once you have that number, work backwards from there to figure out what your packaging can look like.
Another key point on that is to decide if you're wholesale or retail.
Yes.
Because that price changes too.
Yes.
And then if you are wholesale, who's your target?
Exactly.
And because I have people who are trying to get in the wholesale market and sell to spas, but they didn't adjust their pricing previous too, so.
Yep. Things like boxes, they're beautiful. Everyone wants to have a lovely box with some metallic inserts, but it's going to cost money. It's definitely going to affect your bottom line. So what I always tell my customers is maybe not in the beginning, but maybe in the next run, we can do boxes or we can do soft touch labels. Let's get the product to market, work more on creating your community and building your customer base. And if you can develop that and have customers coming back to you because they love your product and they love your customer service, we can always scale the look of that product on the second run.
Thank you, Ella Gorgeous. Oh, yes, Derek.
Two quick points. UPC, it's worth getting registered with GS1 and getting a UPC code. Amazon, I believe, within the next 6 to 9 months, will allow the sale of CBD products. If you can get a CBD product, differentiate it, be one of the first to put it on Amazon. You will sell a lot on Amazon. The soap maker I mentioned in Clearwater sells $700,000 worth of soap a year on Amazon. I think the CBD potential is going to be enormous. So if you can be ready when Amazon allows you to ship it, they will then fulfill the orders for you. They're a great channel.
Thank you, Derek.
I just want to add to that, Derek, there are such things as UPC resellers, correct? So they want to stay away from that because if that reseller goes out of business.
Yeah, don't use a reseller. You can get a cheap barcode, register with GS1, get your own account with your own prefix, which is your company. It's not that expensive. It's about $500. And it will cost you, I'm not sure what the yearly renewal on that is now for a low volume business. It only costs Essential Depot, though, for 1,000 barcodes, which we have, it's $900 a year. So it's really good. It's a really good thing to do. gs1.org.
Thank you, Derek. And Ella, gorgeous. Ella's beautiful. You know, a lot of people are interested in CBD spa products for the dermatological issues that are out there, as well as psoriasis and eczema. I mean, what are you finding that people are really geared towards in developing great products like that?
There's two sides of this. There is the novelty side of CBD, and everyone's like, oh, they have a secret, and they're asking their practitioners, like, oh, can I get something with CBD in it? And that was a conversation that was like last year, the year before. But now what we know is there is some efficacious advantages. One being melanogenesis, which one of the biggest, there's 3 main concerns that people come to a skincare therapist for, neck up issues: aging, pigment, and acne. And so what we do know is cannabis helps all 3 of those. And so developing those products, as I mentioned before, in combination with other ingredients is really beneficial. And the other thing that's amazing for neck down is anti-inflammatory. And so applying a lotion daily helps also anti-age, as well as with inflammation. Like I have personal experience, I have an aroma on my foot, and so whenever it flares up, it's very painful. A little bit of CBD cream, it's great. So we have a lot more people. The conversation from 2015 to 2019 is a lot different. People are understanding the benefits. It's now how many milligrams is more the question. How many milligrams do I need? How many products do I need? Do I need a product line that is full integration, that has, cannabis in every step? So on other companies, I have one client who's actually considering adding it to chemical peeling. So it's the sky's the limit at this point. It's a very exciting time to be in the professional spa market.
You can actually start and Essential Depot has a private label program. Our best-selling private label product right now is the fractionated coconut. It has a long shelf life, 2,000 milligrams of CBD. You can buy quantity 1, or you can buy quantity 100 with your logo on the label for $26. It comes shrink-wrapped, ready for you to sell under our insurance. You can get into the business, and we have about 9 other products under that. So if you don't want to if you just want to get in and prove that it works, you can try it. You can do Christmas. Some of our customers are doing Christmas baskets for their family with their picture on the logo, because for $26 a bottle, they go to the stores, because a lot of these other businesses, if our small customers make it themselves, when you go to the store, you're going to find a 2,000 milligram product for $80 to $120. You can buy it from Essential Depot immediately for $26. So come to the booth. We'll help you get into the business. Sorry for the sales pitch, but I want to see people understand the value. My hairdresser, the day I got married, 17 years ago, she's been my hairdresser ever since, so she's getting a bit old. Before the winter, she said, every haircut, my fingers kill me in the morning. I gave her one of the fractionated coconuts. She went through the whole winter, not a single pain on any haircut. It works.
I want to add to that too then. You asked about efficacy for different conditions, for psoriasis, for eczema, even for dandruff. So the next product that you'll see coming out is hair care products. Because now we have the body care, we have facial care, and there's a lot of hair care products coming out for either dandruff, which is a sebaceous issue, meaning your body's natural oil, and CBD helps regulate its sebasite differentiation, which means it normalizes the factory. So that's exciting. And then, of course, we'll see more foot creams and hand creams and different things coming out too.
Yeah, that's it. What the trends for the future then in CBD body care products? I mean, that's very interesting. So besides the hair care products, is there anything else futuristically that you could see a big surge of outcome in?
Ingredients.
Yeah, mixing.
Yeah.
Mixing the CBD with essential oils, every essential oil has different characteristics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
Terpenes.
talking about terpenes earlier.
If you go to,
benefits.
you can go to ayurvedicoils.com, find the breakdown of every single essential oil, its benefits. This is written by 2 ladies in India, and Ayurvedic medicine's been practiced in India for 3,000 years. So if you want to understand the benefits, I think combining CBD with essential oils, it's unlimited the things it might be able to do, but you've got to watch the FDA. Don't make medical claims on your site. Don't run credit cards unless you're approved to run CBD. The FDA will get you, or your credit card company will shut you down. You've got to watch out for those hurdles.
And I do want to say, if you want to learn more about terpenes and making products, Dr. Adam Abodili has a course on terpenes, highly recommended. I think that would give you a lot more insight on the benefits of terpenes inside CBD products. But right now, I wanted to bring up something, and Ella, gorgeous, you may be able to answer this, is packaging. You being able to put all the correct information on there with details, and of course, looking at the regulations of future packaging as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. When you're getting ready to create your label, the one piece of advice that I can give you is seek out a cannabis attorney that has experience in verifying label information for your particular state. If you're only going to sell in your state, wonderful. If you're going to have an e-commerce business, you really have to look at what all of the other states are doing. Right now, there is no hard and fast rule. We have a Senate memo, which will hopefully become something sometime soon. But just do not make medical claims on your labels. Really look at having QR codes linking back to your third-party results, have the UPC codes, have lot codes, expiration dates. These are going to be the big ones that have to be on the labels, and then whether or not you're going to be able to say things like CBD or hemp extract or hemp oil, that's going to come with time. But for right now, no medical claims, QR codes, lot codes, expiration dates, those are the big ones that we are really pushing our customers to have.
And also what Derek had brought up, the testing each step of the way in making your product as well. Either one of you have anything to add about testing and any experiences that you've had with clients in the past?
There's been a lot of testing both in the UK and here of the end product and the potency of the CBD in the product. If you sell a product and you don't put the full strength in, you're breaking a lot of laws. But there are people out there doing it en masse here. So basically, make sure whatever you put on that label is accurate. The strength of the CBD needs to be exactly what's in the bottle. When you send Ella the 55-gallon drum and she puts it in the bottles, she's not going to verify that it's right. You are. So I strongly recommend you do.
Yeah.
And I think that some of us know that some people have. I know a gentleman who went out to an expo show, not one of these shows, and they bought every single bottle of tincture that was on the floor show, and they independently got them all tested. There were 5 of them that had no CBD traces in it whatsoever, another 20 that had much less that was listed on the bottle. That's what we don't want to see. That's why we're here to be able to share with you how to make a great product and be responsible for what you're putting out there. And I just want to say, I love the fact that you are being aware, or that you're sharing with them that utilizing terpenes to enhance the efficacy of the product of CBD in there as well. I know that we're getting close to the end here, so and we're definitely going to be able to do a Q&A for you that have any questions. I'd like to be able to open it up and ask you, what do you think your takeaway is futuristically for everyone who wants to make a product or the ones who already have a product made? Ella?
I think there's some ingredients to pay. CBD or cannabis is an adaptogen, so paying attention to the word adaptogen and considering other ingredients, especially what's in Denver, we just legalized mushrooms. So I think mushrooms as a whole, beyond psilocybin, we see it now, reishi, lion's mane, and so much coming to the market. So that's something I see making a big splash, as well as terpenes, because terpenes help to enhance efficacy. Terpenes act like steroids in the skin in that they turn up the volume on whatever else they're paired with, the ability to change. So if it's a brightening agent, it helps turn up the brightening properties in it. So think of that in the intention as well. So there's a lot of possibilities, but adaptogens and terpenes, I say, are the next what's up.
All right, thank you. And Derek?
My head's spinning at this show. We can't keep up with the just CBD isolate, which is the only CBD product we put in and we sell. I think there's going to be a lot of question about how the FDA comes down in the end. The banks releasing the credit card restrictions. The world's the limit. Botanicals, there's 30,000 botanicals. There's so much that is going to be discovered in the interaction. You might notice that when you do a bottle which is clear, like the fractionated coconut, it turns slightly pink. How many people can tell me why a clear bottle of coconut oil with CBD would turn pink over time? One. Okay, give us the answer. What does the light cause? Okay. So I think education, understanding, the medical benefits, how much the FDA will let us say, how much Big Pharma will try and stop it. There's so much. And I'm going back to the office on Monday. I've got so many business cards. I saw products I never heard of. So time is coming. Now, okay, over to you. Ella's got some points I know at the end there on this too.
My only takeaway for you all is that if you are considering starting your own line, don't pick a certain product and stick to it. The other panel discussion that I was sitting in on, they talked about this. You know, if you're going to do oils, do oils. If you're going to do gummies, do gummies. If you want to have a few products on your line, that's great. But when I see customers coming to the market with 14 SKUs, I start to worry about what they might be skimping on. And I definitely don't want you to skimp on things like third-party tests. I definitely don't want you to skimp on things like child-proof caps, if that's something that is demanded in your state. So think about the products that you want to bring to market, and then figure out a way how to do that in the highest quality possible.
Thank you so much. Again, this is a natural plant base that actually matches with the human body, CBD, and being able to provide a product that is going to help people have a healthier, better life is a goal for all of us here. And we want to be able to see you with great products for the future that is going to help the community and help each other thrive. Right now, again, let's give a nice hand to our panelists. Oh, that was such a sincere applause. And right now, I want you to feel open. We're all a little family here right now. Please raise your hand if you have a question. And Miss Celeste here is there with a microphone to help you out.
Yeah, you guys wait for the mic, please, because otherwise the audio doesn't capture it.
Thank you. So with the terpenes, I'm a formulator, so basically I'm sure they would be fine in personal care products, but like I've tasted different distillates. Sometimes the distillates wouldn't even taste that bad, but when I formulated with them, sometimes it was like a burning taste and a barn taste that I couldn't overcome, and I said, we have to find a better distillate. So the terpenes, you know, there's maybe 10 popular ones that are listed. If you do the analysis on the C of A, they'll put them. But yeah, the terpenes can be tricky in a distillate because if you're making a food product, especially a fruit flavor, something that's light versus chocolate, it's better to go into chocolate, but it's hard to overcome some of that taste.
And I think it's important to think of terpenes as they're one of the largest natural products in the environment. So we think of terpenes as coming from cannabis. So that might be a beta-carotene forward, and that's that peppery taste that you're tasting, and that does last a long time. But there's terpenes from other sources that can cut that taste that can be considered too. So that mastery, I think, is something going to be in high demand soon.
Can you recommend any good CBD spas? They're real CBD kind of.
Besides mine? Yeah.
Well, some spas are selling CBD, but they don't know anything about it. So do you know any CBD spas?
I do. Where are you from?
Florida.
Florida. There's actually one in Delray Beach, and I will give you her name afterwards, and she's really well studied. It's a matter of what kind of products that they have, and then those product companies, how is their education? And so that burden also falls, thank you for bringing that up, that burden also falls on the manufacturing company because you have to teach in a palatable way that can be regurgitated, which is a horrible word, but you know what I mean, repeated, and accurately. And so that is something for companies that it's hard, but it's doable. And so, yeah, I'll give you her name after.
And real quick, Keiko, too, it was interesting because last year when we had CBD Expo East and we were here, right after that, the spa of Hilton Orlando started carrying CBD products and doing CBD massages. So just so you guys know, if anybody wants a massage, apparently they're doing CBD ones here now.
Yes,
So
and
it
we
was-
did discuss how they
it was
got
awesome to hear that.
CBD manicures, and for an extra, that's for $25 extra.
Isn't that awesome? I thought that was great. They said that in our pre-con meeting. I was like, oh, great.
I can add one quick thing. Take your own bottle. Take a 2-ounce bottle of jojoba with 2,000 milligrams of CBD into the spa and see if they'll use it on you. You can save their upcharge and they'll then bring it in. So it works. Trust
Is that
me.
like almost like a corkage fee in a way, maybe?
Exactly. Try it. It works. I've done it. It works.
Yes, sir.
I have kind of like a two-part question. First, normally in past, it's always been harder for little guys to get going because we may order 1,000 and that 1,000 may cost $15, where the next guy can order 20,000 and it costs them half that cost. Are you guys seeing that it's getting better for the little people to start their businesses?
So, there are companies like Derek that will allow you to white label for, 1 to 100 products. So there's definitely a market now for the little guys to come in and have their own brands with the help of people like Derek.
But
I think-
also as well for you, because you will work with small businesses as well, where, what's one of the minimum orders that you get come in?
50 bottles.
That's tiny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of times our bigger customers just want to test a product, and so we give them that ability to be able to just send in 50, bottles of cream to get filled, just to see if it'll work on the market.
We know that light can degrade CBD, and so sometimes if your product is tested once you formulated it, if you've got it in a clear bottle, once it's on the shelf or wherever, that CBD could degrade. Are there certain tips that you could use, and maybe it's part of the question in the packing and shipping? Does heat have an effect?
One of our 3 doctors, and obviously he's the chemist.
So the problem is both light and oxygen. If you can exclude either one of those, then the degradation doesn't take place. And we're doing tests right now to identify how much degradation there is and what it degrades into. And I expect to have at least a partial answer on Monday, which is tomorrow, but that's not today. So an opaque bottle would help, and also eliminating air either by filling the bottle as full as it can be, or you can buy tank nitrogen from a welding supply place. It's very inexpensive, and if you purge the bottle with nitrogen, that will also eliminate air.
Or get an airless pump.
Both in your mixing container and in the bottling operation. Air and light are your enemies.
And from a packaging standpoint, whenever we fill our customers' orders, we do everything to remove the product from light once it's been packaged. When they're sitting on the carts, we have special UV covers that cover the product while it's awaiting shipping to its final destination.
Kevin, do you have the
Doctor?
answer?
Isn't it always good to have a doctor in the house?
Heat is not as much your enemy as light and air. So the amount of heat you would have to apply if you were cooking it, that might have an effect. But if you're just talking about a warehouse situation where it may be warmer and cooler, that's not going to have as big an effect as light and air.
Thank you so much. Well, we are going to have to wrap it up.